Welcome to Second Take, the show that focuses on the issues behind the news. South African nuclear company PBMR hopes that the development of the pebble-bed modular reactor and Eskom's intention to invest in nuclear power will result in the creation of a competitive industry that will be able to supply both local and international markets. Senior contributing editor Keith Campbell is in the studio to tell us more about the nuclear industry's localization aspirations. Keith, welcome to Second Take. What is the current state of the South African nuclear industry, and what is the PBMR company actually hoping to achieve?
Well, at the current moment, the South African nuclear industry is almost non-existent. We have the PBMR company, who are the nuclear design and engineering company that are designing the pebble-bed modular reactor. And we have the South African Nuclear Energy Corporation, or NECSA, which is out at Pelindaba, west of Pretoria. And of course, down in Koeberg in the Cape, Eskom operates the Koeberg nuclear power station. Now, what PBMR is hoping to do is this. They're hoping that their own project, plus the Eskom project to build new pressure water reactors, will provide the basis for the establishment of a nuclear manufacturing industry in South Africa. That is an industry that will manufacture components for nuclear power plants and nuclear reactors, not only here, but be able to be integrated into the global supply chains of the major nuclear reactor manufacturing companies and supply customers in other parts of the world as well.
Now, what role will Eskom, specifically the New Build program, play in developing a competitive nuclear industry in South Africa?
Actually, it's critical. Pressurized water reactors are much, much bigger than PBMRs. So the scale of what Eskom seeks to do is much bigger. It thus provides a much bigger basis. Eskom is on record as expressing the desire to have 30% of South Africa's electricity generated by nuclear by the year 2025. Currently, about 5% of the country's electricity comes from nuclear. To do that, they would use a mixture of PBMRs and PWRs. But the PWRs would have to be the backbone of that program.
Let's talk about safety. In the nuclear industry, safety is absolutely critical. What will the local industry have? What regulations will the local industry have to comply with?
Well, as you said, safety is critical. Nuclear is an industry like no other. Most companies regard ISO 9001 as the acme of quality accreditation. For nuclear, that's just the ticket to get in the front door. That is the ground floor from which you have to move up to get the essential accreditations. Now, South Africa has got the National Nuclear Regulator, and it has a document RD 0034, which gives a lot of the requirements for companies that wish to operate in the nuclear field. Now, the NNR does not specify what codes you must follow, but specifies what these codes must cover, what they must do. The one thing it does specify, by the way, is that you must have, as I say, ISO 9001 as a basis, not merely ISO 9001, but the latest version, ISO 9001-2008. But generally, there are internationally recognized codes that are regarded as the benchmarks that have to be followed. Thus, there's NQA1, which is Nuclear Quality Assurance, and then there are the codes from the American Standard of Mechanical Engineers, specifically Chapter 3, popularly known as ASME 3, and Chapter 8, ASME 8. Now, if you want to be involved in manufacturing components for nuclear reactors, you've got to have ASME 3 and ASME 8 certification. What you need depends exactly what you want to make. Some cases you need ASME 3, some cases you need ASME 8, and some cases you need both. Now, a company with high quality standards takes an average of 3 years to achieve ASME 3. It is very tough, it is very demanding, it requires a total culture change, and you are audited every year for ASME 3 compliance. So it's a difficult and expensive process, and that is the catch. in developing a local nuclear industry. It is expensive for local companies to do this. Therefore, they must have an assurance that they're going to get something back, that they're going to get some kind of business as a result.
Now, many other countries are also developing localization programs. Is the clock ticking for South Africa?
Well, yes, it is, in the sense that there are only a small number of major nuclear civilian nuclear reactor design and manufacturing companies in the world. And there's only a limited amount of countries they can make major investments in. So the later you are, the less chance you have of getting significant investment in the development of a local nuclear industry. They cannot support nuclear reactor component manufacturing industries in every country. It's simply not practical unless that country has a very big internal market, which South Africa does not. So South Africa must be part of a global system, which means that it must get in relatively early in the process. I mean, already China has a localization program, India has, South Korea has, Finland has, the United Kingdom will start one. The United Kingdom allowed its domestic civilian nuclear reactor design manufacturing capability to atrophy over the past 30 years, so it has to be restarted almost from scratch. So the more companies seek localization, the thinner the butter is going to have to be spread. The sooner South Africa gets in, the better chance it has of getting a significant share of the business.
Keith, thank you very much, and thanks for joining us on Second Take. That's the Second Take show for today. Thank you for watching, and join us again next week.